So today what we have is an American Vintage 2 1965 Stratocaster. For any of you who may have seen my previous video, this time Guitar Center finally got the shipment right. Before they had shipped me an American Ultra 2 Stratocaster by mistake, but this one came and it's the right guitar. So this is the 1965 Stratocaster. It's in Shoreline Gold, kind of a really nice, beautiful color. And let's go through the specs and then we'll plug it in and hear how it sounds. So you've got an alder body with a nitro finish. You've got, 5-way switch, volume, tone, tone. The first tone controls the neck pickup only. The second tone controls both the middle and the bridge. So we'll get to that later. You've got your vintage style tremolo. You've got a 1965 C-shaped neck with a nitro finish on it. So it's not a satin finish. It's kind of the goopier nitro kind of finish. And you've got a rosewood fretboard. I think in terms of shape, it's very C-shaped. It's not super chunky, but then again, it's also not super thin. It's kind of a nice middle ground. It actually reminds me quite a bit of the neck on my Silver Sky. You've got vintage style tuners. They are, of course, not locking. You've got a single string tree bone nut. The truss rod adjustments down here at where the neck joins. So it's a vintage guitar. You got to take the neck off to adjust the truss rod. And overall, just a really nice put together guitar. The craftsmanship is pretty good. Everything fits together pretty well. There's a little bit of a gap in the neck pocket here, but it's not too bad. And everything else seems pretty buttoned up. In terms of weight, I would say the guitar is probably pushing 8 pounds. So maybe upper 7s, low 8s, sits somewhere in there. But overall, well put together guitar. It feels pretty quality. The switches feel good. There's a little bit of plastic edging on this that, I probably will take a file to. But the knobs feel high quality and they're pretty smooth in how they work. So let's go ahead and plug this in and hear how it sounds. So for these sound demos, I'm going to use my Narrow DSP Quad Cortex. I got a preset set up that's got a good range of tones from a kind of a pure clean through some low gain stuff, some chunky rhythms, and then some kind of Eric Johnson style lead tones. I've got most of the ambient effects off, a little bit of reverb on the end just to keep it from being too dry, but I wanted to hear how the guitar sounds and not be overcome with delays and things like that. So let's start with the clean tone. I'm on the neck pickup. Everything's on 10. Let's hear how it sounds. So a nice warm tone. Definitely, these 1965 gray bottom pickups have a little bit more of a top end to it than my 1961 Strat. Unfortunately, I don't have that guitar here today, but I'll do a separate video comparing them back to back. But I will say that this guitar has a little more top end to it. Again, the pickup tones remind me a little bit in my memory to my Paul Reed Smith Silver Sky. It has a little bit of that top end to it, which makes sense because the Silver Sky pickups are modeled after the 63, 64 pickups. So it would make sense that these 65 pickups would have kind of a little bit of that character. We go to the 4 position. So the in-between position to me isn't super pronounced. It's not as scooped maybe as you get from a Silver Sky. It's there, but it's not as prevalent. If we go to the middle. We'll go to the 2 position. Again, it's not as pronounced, that kind of quack you get from a nice scooped middle position. To me, it doesn't feel like it's prevalent in this as maybe some other Strats. And then the bridge. So it sounds pretty good. This is a warm style clean tone, so even on the bridge, it does okay. So the one thing I mentioned before is the tone controls are set up so that the second tone controls both the bridge and the middle. And one of the downsides of that, at least for me, is I'm somebody who likes to roll off the tone on the bridge pickup down from 10 to maybe like 8 or 7.5. And that still works. The problem is now the tone on your middle is rolled down as well. So if I go from the bridge to, say, the 4 position, it really kind of turns down the tone on that 4 position because the middle pickup is being rolled off. If I turn all the way down, you can hear it. So keep that in mind. If you're someone like me who likes to roll off a little bit of the tone on the Strat bridge pickup, if you roll off the tone a little bit on this, it's going to sacrifice some of that 4 position sound because you're rolling off some of the tone on the middle pickup still. So I prefer it the other way. On the 1961 Strat, this is the neck and middle, and this is the bridge only. To me, that's the best way for it to be. But obviously, you can change the wiring on this and make it how you want it. Let's go ahead and add some gain in. And I'll go to kind of a Dumble style low gain. This is adding in a upfront overdrive pedal that's an HRM. I go to the in-between. Or the middle. Two. And here's the bridge. So it does pretty nice. It stays pretty clear, even with kind of that kind of flubby Dumble tone. If we go to maybe a different kind of gain sound, so this is more of kind of a tighter, think of a low gain Marshall kind of thing. And here's the bridge. So again, it does pretty well. I would like to roll that bridge off just a little bit, but because of the way it plays, I probably would never do that. So if we add in more gain for kind of a lead tone, so again, nice simple pickups kind of do well with the higher gain. Maybe roll the bridge off just a little bit. So even on the neck. It stays pretty clear, it does really well. So I think the pickups definitely have a little more top end of them. And like I said, they remind me a little bit of the pickups in the Silver Sky. Maybe not as scooped, but that top end kind of sizzle that's there, I think, is somewhat similar. So, you know, if you're someone who finds the bridge pickup on a Silver Sky to be maybe a little too biting, these might give you a similar thing. And I would encourage you maybe to check out one of the other guitars. But overall, it's a very nice instrument. I think, you know, the playability is really nice. I really didn't have to do anything out of the box in terms of setting it up. Other than, I will say, the bridge came floating off the body more than I would like. But I've noticed that on the Ultra 2 as well. That seems to be how Fender ships them, maybe. And maybe I'm the only one. I like my bridge kind of laying flat on the body. I don't do a lot of kind of pulling up, and I like it flat and stable. I'm usually someone who also puts kind of 5 springs in to keep it really kind of firm. So overall, I mean, it does what a Strat should do. If you're looking for kind of this vintage style Strat, and you like that kind of mid-60s pickup tone as opposed to the early 60s, which is, to my ears, a little bit warmer, I think this will do really well. And I'm much happier with kind of the overall quality feel of this guitar versus, you know, that Ultra that they sent me by mistake. I didn't really care for that guitar at all. This one, it sounds good. It plays nice. Like I said, it came out of the box pretty well set up. Just had to tweak it a little bit. I didn't have to adjust the truss rod, thankfully, and it was pretty good to go. The fretwork seems pretty good. I'm not getting any buzz. The nut is cut well. Everything's nice and, you know, maybe not as totally as low as it could go, but definitely not very high. It's a very well cut nut. It makes for decently low action, even though this is a 7 1/4. I'm not getting any choke out. So if you're considering, you know, this new American vintage guitar, I think it's definitely worth a look, and I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching.